I admire four people in my life, and three of them are Indians, and there's only one non-Indian in that, and that's Sheikh Mohammed. I'm a huge admirer of him. Look what he has done. From nothing, he has created a paradise here. And he has created such a safe environment for people like us. I would love to spend more time here. And the weather, especially from September to March and April, is fantastic. So if, like I say, I have the best of both worlds. I'm able to spend my 6 months, 7 months in Dubai and 6, 7 months in London. I think I have the best of the whole world. So I live in paradise all the time. So Sheikh Mohammed deserves all the credit. I am a Hindu and comes from a business family called Banyas. Like Agrawal, my surname, is basically majority of Agrawals are business people. So business is in our blood. That's the only thing we understand. And you would be amazed when you will find how many successful Banyas are there in the businesses. And a lot of them self-made, a lot of them have inherited business. So partly, yes, I was into the family business. And I joined when I was 17-year-old, but started something different from my family, but in the family. And we went to a fantastic, successful level. And then in 95, I left everything and I walked out of the family business. So I started from zero, absolutely from zero again. And God was kind. You see, I'll tell you, there are four people I admire the most in my life, as I was telling you earlier. And I will give you a little 2 seconds background on each of them. One is Sheikh Mohammed. Where did he learn to create such a great city like Dubai? Did anybody teach him? I don't think so. The second person who I admire the most is an Indian called Dhirubhai Ambani. He was not very educated. He was working as an attendant at a petrol pump in Middle East, came to India and created an empire which was second to none. Reached a success which was phenomenal. And built an empire. The third person I admire the most is a gentleman called Lakshmi Mittal. Again, he built up an empire from scratch. He's the steel king of the world, controls 10% of the steel. Yes, very educated, very intelligent, brilliant guy. But did he learn to create this in the school? The answer is no. The fourth person I admire, again is an Indian, sadly for the rest of the world, is a gentleman called Anil Agrawal. And comes from a small village in India, a small city, sorry. No phenomenal education, nothing abnormal, street smart, common sense. And he has created a global empire. He's one of the biggest in the world in the sectors which he do. Now, what you find common in each of them was they were all very smart, had one thing which was in abundance, common sense, determination, and not scared of failures. So I think the success formula is, keep believing in yourself, believe in your ideas, and if you have a conviction, and you have the most important thing which is not so common, called common sense. Any successful businessman is the person who can have right kind of people working with him. If you have good people with you and you are willing to delegate power to them, you can succeed. If you want to keep all the power with you, it can't work in the long run. You can do one thing. And in my case, going into different verticals was opportunistic. It was not that I decided to get into sector A or B. I got an opportunity of a such sector, we loved it, we went in it. For example, when we were looking at a security business, I got an opportunity, which was a very interesting opportunity, different than the normal run-of-the-mill opportunities. And I said, yes, let's go for it. Because the numbers make sense, the business makes sense, and the success story makes sense. So there is no rationale other than whether we can achieve success, whether we can have the right talent to run it, and there is a good prospect. So it's opportunistic in our case. You may have the best business plan, but if the people are not right, it doesn't make a difference. You may have the most brilliant idea on the planet, but people are the most important. So first of all, we must believe the people who have brought the idea. Then the idea should make sense. And then the business plan has to stack up to it. There are two kinds of people. One, when they have a failure, they go into a shell, or they think, they're failure in their life and go into depression. But at the same time, I know of people who have been successful and gone into depression because they have not been able to handle success. So, and there is no guarantee that a successful person in one venture would bring a second venture which is successful. And without naming, I'll tell you, about 2 years back, somebody met me, and he wanted us to be acting for them. And he was phenomenal. What he did, he was the originator of that sector. He was the first in the world. And even today, his name is taken with a great respect. But none other venture of his has ever been successful after that. And was I convinced when I saw the project which he gave to me? Yes, but I was not sure whether he can implement that. The reason being, he had been so successful in the past. To be able to do a venture again from zero, you need to have a mindset of a fighter. Now, he had been successful, he can't be a fighter for that. And as a person, I believe in relationships. I value relationships, I like to maintain relationships. Whether I get business or not, I make money or not, for me any relationship is more important than any business. And when you start thinking in that model, then the interest of the other is more paramount than your own interest. And in part of my business, let's say an investment banking business, when I think of a relationship and I'm worried about my client, I will automatically be making money. It will be good for me. If it is good for him, he is going to reward me by that. And it's very simple. Similarly, when you work between countries and you help, let's say, one head of a state with another head of a state, and they appreciate that. And that appreciation will come in some form, the other, today, tomorrow, day after, as long as you have the patience to wait for that. But yes, if you want to do a speed dial, then there is a no-go. When you have been achieving any kind of success, then you have to give back to society, because it's not that everybody is equal. And you can't have everybody as equal, but there are so many unprivileged people. In whatever way we could be given back. So, like for example, I was very actively involved at one time with a body called Pratham. Now, the beauty of Pratham was that it used to educate children in small villages where they have never had an education. There are no schools. And now again, I was involved with them till about 5 or 6 years back. Till then, they had educated 30 million children. So imagine 30 million children getting the basic education. What is most important is today, people say you need food and you need housing and you need everything, job and all. I said no. If you have the basic food and you have the education, you can do everything. But if you don't get even a basic education, it becomes difficult in the life to go ahead. Yes, there are people who have gone ahead in their life without any basic education. But if you have had a basic education, you have had a basic meal, you're ready to go and fight in the world and conquer and do whatever you want to do. And that's where a charity and all those bodies become very important. You feel nice, it is good to be recognized, and of course it gives you inspiration to do more, to do better. Because you want to do more and more and prove that you are not just over now. You need to improvise yourself and do even better. You don't need to have a miracle, believe me. All you need is a good people and monitoring system that you should be able to do. Like in our case, in most of my companies, we have, let's say, a group CEO for a simple vertical. We will have a call with them once in a week to review everything. That's all. And there is a monitoring system. So if you were to ask me today, do I know what is happening in my ex-company? The answer is yes. So as of every week, I would know every single thing in every company, anywhere in the world.